go.
Up here, guys, up here. Come on, come up here.
Don't be shy.
Get up here.
Don't be shy. Ready?
All set.
Y'all ready? All right, you're recording.
All right, good. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our caucus meeting, May 7th, 2025, 6 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon, was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. We will rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag Item number 1, donation to Lenoka Harbor Volunteer Fire Company and Forked River Volunteer Fire Company.
And we're also presenting something to the police tonight, too. It's just not on the agenda.
We're also presenting something to the police tonight, too. It's not on the agenda.
Good, get up. Come on, come on. Get up here, girls. Get up here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Get over. Get over by the coach. Come on, so we can see you all. Come on, get over here.
Don't be shy. None of them are shy.
No, no.
Turn
Turn around.
Turn around to the audience.
Turn around so everybody can see you out there.
Thank you so much for having us tonight. My name is Marilyn Halliday. I'm the owner of Pride Elite Competitive Cheer, which is located at 713A Old Shore Road in Forked River. We've been open for 5 years. We started with just 22 athletes, and now we have well over 109 different teams. And besides becoming terrific athletes, all these girls have become really good friends, and they've made so many memories, and they have so much to be proud of, from competitions to just experiences that they've had together. So we are especially grateful because the night of the fire, it came so close to our building, and we really thought we were going to lose it. So on a few days later, we actually had our showcase that we have at the end of every season, because the following weekend which was just a couple days ago, we were heading to Florida for our national competition. So at our showcase, all our Pride Elite families signed these thank you signs for the police officers and the Lenoka Harbor and Forked River Fire Department, and took a donation that we would like to present to everyone tonight for our gratefulness for everything that they did.
That's
So
wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Chief,
Thank you so much.
Jack, come over. Don't try to hide. This is. Thanks.
And Officer Triano is going to accept on behalf of the police.
Thank you.
So we'll take a picture.
Why don't the two chiefs and our police officer stand in the picture with them?
Yes, please.
Wherever you want, Chris.
How am I gonna fit? Taking an A. Taking an A.
No, that's her.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Give them the signs.
That's for you to take back to headquarters. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Wait one second.
Oh, okay.
At this time, I'd like to ask if any member of the committee would like to have any comments for our cheer girls, our emergency first responders.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to start?
You could
with
start. You look like you're chomping at the bit.
I am chomping at the bit because from the moment this all happened that night, I just knew, I thought about you because of everybody over there. And it's just a wonderful thing that you took the time to do this and teach these young ladies just how important it is to give back to our society and to the gentlemen and ladies who fight for us in this town. So we couldn't do it without them, and we appreciate you taking the time to show them how much you appreciate them. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Deputy,
Thank you, Mayor. That's a really nice thing you girls did. It's really great that you support our fire company. And the township's very proud that you do as well. And myself personally, I'm certainly glad that you guys did the job you did. I have a building in the business park, and I was as scared as you girls were when I started hearing all the, you started getting all the reports. So I'm deeply grateful myself. So thank you, and thank you, girls, for all you've done.
Councilman McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. What you saw tonight is what I call citizenship. One part of the town helping the other part. And that's what makes this town so great. You girls didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do this. Our firefighters, they volunteered. They don't have to do it, but they do it. Why? My guess is they love this town like you girls do. And this is what makes Lacey a great, great town. So I want to thank you girls for doing this. I want to thank the firemen out there. My phone was blowing up. Tim, what do you got for me? What's going on? And I refused to call. I refused to call the chief, refused to call anybody. Because you guys had a job to do. And the last thing you needed was a nosy politician saying, what's going on down there?
Glad he phrased it that way, right?
That's not what we do. I'll wait till the end. And here's the funny thing about it. The reports that I was getting, about 5 seconds ahead of time, was the same reports that was going up on the police department. So, thank you, gentlemen, for everything that you've done.
Ladies.
And thank you, ladies. Yeah, that's all I have.
Mr. Larette.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all you young ladies for your accomplishments, what you do, for doing this. This is over and beyond. And it shows a little character of this town because these gentlemen are a little older than you girls. Ladies and gentlemen, I keep forgetting they're firefighters now, not firemen, because there's ladies in the fire department now.
That's right.
But, at a young age, you learn how to participate and give back, and this is what it grows into. Volunteers who give to the town without even a thought. I can't imagine the thoughts that were going through your head that night because I know your building is right on the woods line there. I know my brother's shop's there, Mr. Kenneth's building's there, we were all quite concerned with what's going down there, but I can't imagine what was going through your head because your building couldn't have been much closer to the fire than it was. But just can't say enough for what everybody's done. I was going to mention this later on in the thing. Me and Peggy Sue had the opportunity. We actually know what nights the Forked River and Linook Harbor fire companies meet. So we went to say thank you, but we went not as representatives of the town, even though we were there as part of the, being committee members. But in both fire departments, we have friends, we have family, we have neighbors that participate. And that's what we went there to be, is a friend, a neighbor, and family to say thank you. And with talking to them, because I know it's been going around a lot about what can we do for the fire departments. And the same answer seems to come from everybody. Support them. They are volunteers. When they're out there shaking that bucket at ShopRite, put something in it. When they send the mailers out to the community, please send some back. Because I learned something that they send a couple thousand out a year and they get a couple hundred back. So remember, they're volunteers, they can use your donations, and That's the best thing we could do for them because they got plenty of water, plenty of food, but they do run a volunteer organization, and just like any organization, it costs money to participate. So please, tell your friends, your neighbors. That's the best thank you we can give you, and just thank you to everybody.
I'd like to close out the comments tonight. I've often said up here, I only have a daughter, so to see the girls up here is wonderful. There's no slight against the boys, but to see you step up. So it's been 12 years that the town's been good enough to put me up here to serve, and I will tell you, whether it's the Girl Scouts or the Boy Scouts, the Rotary, the Elks, the Moose, the Cheer School, it is another group each and every time. But today is really special because these are the girls here taking care of our first responders, and you deserve to be recognized. So I hope people patronize your school, because you're a long-standing Lacey family, and I hope you girls are super successful, and I see you on some Saturday, what is it, in Orlando, down in the Cheer Championships, and if you have not been there, I wish you the very best, and I hope you go, but that's incidental. Just wishing you the very, very best. You're going to be great Lacey people and families, and you already are, and God loves you, and so do we all. So thank you for that. But now, to our police, fire, and first responders. So a lot's been said. We've all been tireless advocates. I just left the Board of Commissioners meeting a few minutes ago, where there was a lot of blue and red in the crowd, and the folks were honored. But I want something brought up, and I want to say it as clear as I can and be recorded when I say it. What you all did is something that's never been done before. We lost 15,300 or 15,500 acres. So I want to be really clear. If somebody ever has a word to say negative or why wasn't this done, this was an absolute masterclass in preparation, execution, and excellence. Not one single family home was lost, and we live in the Pinelands. Not one first responder that I got a report of, and I was dialed into everything, was hurt, taken to the hospital. Nobody passed away, thank God in heaven. And for that to happen, if you would have told me that 2 weeks ago, I would have said, I don't know what you're taking, but if it's over the counter and it makes you that happy, let's send some over. But it was unbelievable what you all did. And so that's what I would say. They say practice makes perfect. You all did perfect practice that made perfect. We lost virtually nothing. So I want that recorded and part of this conversation. And after we're all gone, I want it part of a permanent record. You all lost nothing. You stood there, you ran toward the fire. I couldn't even breathe down there in that cul-de-sac where Bobby lost a business. And it's just, you deserve any accolade, like Mr. LeRae said. You see somebody, you get the envelope, do something. Thank you all, and God bless you. Now, unless you want to stay for exciting meetings, I mean, we are chock full. This stuff's great. The girls love it.
We're heading out too, right? Good.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, my God, see you later. You can drag him out with you. Drag him out with you. He's going to stick around tonight, trust me. We know that. I'm sure you know that, too. We do 2 weeks in advance. 2 weeks in advance.
Bye, guys. I'll
Bye,
talk
see
to
you
you.
later, Scott.
me to
Up
pause
until
the
about
tape?
12:15.
Oh, God.
Well, there's a lot of empty seats up front, gang.
I don't know what happened. I don't know.
It's cold, it's staying warm.
I don't know how this happened.
It's nice. That's great. I knew you knew already. I'm just excited.
I know, because
Because of the area, it always makes me wonder. I don't know.
Okay, Stephen.
General factor.
Resuming.
Okay. Item number 2, request to post signage, Rotary Club of Forked River Doggy Derby event.
The Rotary Club of Forked River is hosting their annual Doggy Derby event on June 8th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the field on Jones Road. They are seeking permission to post lawn signs across town to promote the event for 2 weeks prior.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All I have. Motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Township of Lacey Township meeting, May 7th, 2025. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon, was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. We'll have a salute to the flag and a moment of silence. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, first reading of ordinance 2025-09, authorizing the sale of block 1869, lot 13.
Ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of Block 1869, Lot 13 on the municipal tax map to Allen and Carrie Baker in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 40A:12-13B and NJSA 40A:12-13.2. This is being sold to the adjoining property owner, and it is in the amount of $3,800.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 2, first reading of ordinance number 2025-10, vacating a portion of Arthur Street and a portion of Bayonne Avenue.
An ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, vacating all of the right, title, and interest of the Township of Lacey in a portion of Arthur Street and a portion of Bayonne Avenue. This is for the paper portion of those streets to the adjoining property owner.
Move it. Second.
I moved it.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 3, first reading of ordinance 2025-11, amending Chapter 269 entitled Peddling and Soliciting.
Ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 269 of the Township Code entitled Peddling and Soliciting. This is to specifically outline the fingerprinting requirement for all applicants.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 4, Resolution 2025-172, calling for the restoration of energy taxes to municipalities.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, calling for the restoration of energy taxes to municipalities. This is to urge the state to restore energy tax receipts to make municipalities the collecting agent.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 5, Resolution 2025-173, appointing a member to the Municipal Alliance Committee.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appointing Joanne Priest to the Municipal Alliance Committee of the Township of Lacey.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 6, Resolution 2025-174, authorizing the employment of a full-time mechanic for the Department of Public Works.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the employment of Evan Cyphers as full-time mechanic for the Department of Public Works.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 7, Resolution 2025-175, authorizing Chapter 159 in the 2025 municipal budget, recycling tonnage grant.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, providing for the insertion of a special item of revenue and appropriation in the 2025 municipal budget of the Township of Lacey pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-87. This is for the State of New Jersey recycling tonnage grant in the amount of $50,154.51.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 8, Resolution 2025-176, authorizing the tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with public law.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Larray?
Yes, even though none of us want these, but
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 9, Resolution 2025-177, authorizing the refund of a zoning department fee.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the refund of a zoning department fee issued by the Lacey Township Zoning Department.
Move it.
second,
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 10, Resolution 2025-178, authorizing the refund of deposit monies.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the refund of deposits held for the use of municipal facilities.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
Yes,
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 11, Resolution number 2025-179, authorizing the payment of township bills.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the payment of township bills. This is in the amount of $9,509,710.45.
Move it.
Easy number. Second. Sorry.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes, and I'm staying on T0035.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 12, monthly reports.
The Department of Community Development collected receipts for the month of April in the amount of $73,810. Municipal Clerk's Office collected receipts in the amount of $9,446.50. Road opening permits for the month of April was in the amount of $23,2650. Recycling commodity in the amount of $1,113. Truck parking in the amount of $13,075. And municipal docks in the amount of $64,805. Motion to accept the reports is read. Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 13, motion to approve caucus meeting minutes from April 24th, 2025.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I need to abstain on that.
Let me do a
Yep.
roll call. Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Abstain.
Mr. Larray?
He's not here.
Yes,
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 14, motion to approve township meeting minutes from April 24th, 2025.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
yes.
Mr. McDonald?
I need to abstain again.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 15, motion to approve membership in the Lenoka Harbor Fire Company, Nicholas Towey.
Move it.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Item number 16, motion to approve membership in the Forked River Volunteer Fire Company for Jason Naya.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Comments from the committee. Deputy Mayor Kennis.
Thank you, Mayor. It's funny that we wound up having the fire, not funny, but trying to do a segue into a couple months ago. I feel like I'm one of the last people that still reads their news. So in the New York Times, I'd sent an article to Veronica about it's a long article about how difficult it was getting fire trucks in particular, and I sent it to her just for her to read. And then a couple months later, in April, she had sent me a letter from the United States Senate with both signed by Josh Hawley and Andy Kim investigating due to that reporting by the Times. Because the fire truck backlog is exceeded $4 billion, and the costs of a ladder truck have almost doubled to $2.3 million. And there's really only 3 companies that are doing it, and so the investigation is, monopolistic practices. So I just found that interesting, and those are the problems that we have to deal with locally as well. It's always a problem getting the relatively inexpensive fire trucks. I attended the school board meeting last Wednesday on the vote for, on it wasn't their final budget vote, I don't think, but I thought that the members of the board did their best in a very difficult situation to try and, just make the best decision they could regarding both the township taxes and trying to save jobs. I thought even the no votes on the budget the arguments were well put forth, and they really did a good job explaining their positions. And like I said, it's a difficult vote for all the members of the board. One of the biggest problem, in my opinion, So it's always the staffing on both the township budget and the school budget that is that's where all the money is. And in particular, on our budget, I can't speak to the school budget, but the benefits have really far outstripped the inflation on the benefits is really rising quickly. We're up to $50,000 on a family plan in the township for health benefits. That's gone from 40 to 50 in 2 years. And so those numbers to me are just hard to sustain. You're asking taxpayers to try to keep paying for that stuff, and it's difficult because that's expensive benefits. But like I said, as for the schools, I thought that they did the best that they could. And my final thing is just to mention that the Lacey Township Environmental Commission is having a lake cleanup on
May
when?
31st.
Wait, I have it. Is May 31st? May 31st, 9/11/30. So we ask you to please register ahead on the Lacey Rec website. I think that's it, Pete.
I thank you, sir. Committeeman McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. I haven't been feeling well lately, so I've been stretched out watching TV. And what happens is the former sheriff of Los Angeles, who was the sheriff for 35 years, I think it was, a true Democrat, switched to a Republican because of the fires. Now, I happened to meet the guy one time when I was out in California, visiting my uncle who was a judge out there. A very nice man. And he's not switching at his age for the front of it. He's going to run for something, there's no question about it. And you're starting to see this throughout the country, where you're starting to see Democrats get out of that lane and move to the Republican side or move to the independent side. One of the things that I have complained about is that the 2% cap that strangleholds us, it truly does, has not been adjusted for inflation. And that hurts us. You know, we were back talking with Veronica. Veronica's saying, you know, this piece of paper costs us more today than it did 5-10 years ago. Well, that 2% cap, it all falls in under the 2% cap. Now, I'm not saying to take the cap to 7-8%. I'm saying we need to adjust it, to take the pressure off of you guys a little bit so that we can get a good budget through here that makes a whole lot of sense. I'm not saying we're not going to have that, but it makes our job easier to protect you guys. It is that simple. And I just want to wish all the moms out there a very happy Mother's Day. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you, Committeeman. Committeewoman Juliana.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd just like to say what a wonderful evening so far this has been, and I just want to remind everybody that our fire companies did 53 calls alongside fighting the fire that they had to fight. But on another note, I believe our new full-time mechanic is in the audience. Would he mind standing up for a quick moment, and we can just say hi and welcome him aboard? Hi, Evan. You know, there's a lot of history there with this family. It's a wonderful thing to see it come full circle around with the family, too. You know, whether it's his uncle who works for the DPW, his other uncle who, if I have this correctly, is a police officer here in town, but most of all, his grandfather and the rest of his family. But I knew his grandfather very well. And you just come from good breed, and it's a wonderful thing to have you joining our township work. So thank you and welcome.
Committeeman Loretta.
Now I got to think of something.
He stole his thunder. He stole his thunder.
You can still talk about them because you know them too, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. Before I forget it, I'm going to start with Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
But I haven't had the opportunity to meet Evan yet, but I sure do know the family. And their family goes back a long time in town, just like many of us up here do. I see Grandma sitting there in the audience. There she goes, now she's smiling. But between Grandpa, you know, his uncles, his mom and dad, I actually had to make a call to his dad because Evan, I wanted your parents to know, after our process, and I know what it was like and the amount of questions and how well you were brought up and how well you presented yourself at your interview. You really did a good job, and you got hired on your merit. So I want you to know that, and your parents should be very, very happy of you, young man. Also, another person in the family that's back there tonight filled us in on something. He's an experienced firefighter. Sitting right behind him. Because young lady sitting next to him with the blonde hair was wondering why there was still smoke. So Kevin explained to us how, so everybody understands this, even though the fire technically is out, it still burns underneath the dirt, the foliage, and everything else, and sometimes this can go on for months. So they constantly got to stay on top of it, keep it wet, pray for rain, but don't get alarmed because you're smelling smoke or you see smoke, because this is something that will go on and on. But this came of a conversation that was just had before the meeting. Steve pretty much covered, me and him attended the school board meeting last week. Nobody's happy about taxes ever going up. And one of the biggest things I've learned the last couple months being on this committee is a lot of times we got to make the best out of basically a crappy situation. It's the only way to put it. I was glad in the fact that at least the board could compromise enough between them to come up with a decision to make a tentative budget. Because the one thing, even though there was some opposition, and like Steve said, their facts and their reasons were well understood, and I respect them for that. The biggest thing is to keep the state of New Jersey out of our town and out of our school system. The state causes a lot of our problems. We don't need them in here adding to them. So there's still a lot of work to be done. They did come to a compromise. They did pass a tentative budget. We'll see where that stuff goes from there. I did want to address one thing, because I say this with all sincerity. Everybody that comes up to this mic, I respect, I listen to you, and sometimes things are very accurate, sometimes they're inaccurate. But quite a few meetings now I've been hearing about, and I know people are upset and talking about, whether they can afford to live here. But I keep hearing the same comment, and Regina, I don't mean to address this to you exactly, but every meeting you come up and you mention how all our neighbors are putting their houses up for sale and selling them. We live in the same neighborhood. There's hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of homes. There's 4 of them up for sale. None of them, neither, one's by my house, the nearest one to use on Sunrise Boulevard. 4 houses up for sale in our neighborhood, 2 are flips. So even though people may be talking about this, to come up into the mic and state it as a fact, I just wanted to clarify that, because a lot of times I don't talk from what I hear. I go out and look. And I've driven every street in Sunrise Beach. So, and this was as recent as today. So I just wanted, sometimes we do have to address comments that may not be 100% accurate, because I don't do social media for the simple reason 50% of it may be correct, and out of that 50%, only 50% of that is accurate. So, we got to take it for the merit it is. But on a positive note, I got to attend my first ribbon cutting this past week with the mayor. Our family is a strong advocate of small businesses. We own one ourselves. I work at another family members. And I'll tell you, it was just absolutely wonderful. It's a dog grooming business. next to Gilly Park in the strip mall called Sassy Paul, opened by a longtime family around town that's been in town, and all I can do is wish them the best luck and success, because I'll tell you, it was a real honor to see this, and my hat's off to all small businesses, and that's all I got tonight.
All right, thank you so much. I too, before I forget, want to echo the sentiments of my committeemen and women up here. Happy Mother's Day and welcome to Evan. With specific regard to the schools, I know that Senator Connors on numerous occasions since before I got here, you know, if you're going to go up to somebody and you're going to go into their pockets, in this case with a little bit of a crowbar, tell them the deal. So I fault the state, not only for slighting our district, and I do think it was for political reasons. I speak because I am unbridled and nobody owns me. I say what's on my mind all the time. Sometimes I double down, say it louder, or say it a second time. The school funding formula is completely unfair. It's robbing Peter to save Paul. I'm not going to get political up here because it doesn't belong to a party. This is the people's spot, and that's the people's microphone. But I am hopeful that the next governor sheds a little light on whatever system is over there for school funding, and then sends it out and blasts it to each of our 500 or so municipalities around this state and lets us know how our money is being spent, or in our case, absconded with and given to other districts in and outside of our county. It's patently unfair. They did it. It put us in a bad spot. It put our colleagues on the school board in a bad spot, and it's just not right. It's not fair. No matter who the next governor is, no matter what party they're from, I hope that they fix that, because we have to be transparent up here. If I have a formula where I'm spending your money, you have every right to ask me about, Pete, what the hell are you doing? How's it going? What's going? Tell me what's going on. And I got to take that heat, because that's what I signed up for. So I think that's unfair, and I think that should be changed. I want to wish our business a great, we support our businesses. No matter what you support in town, it's derived off the back of businesses. So I was there with Committeeman LeRae yesterday, and it was just a wonderful, maybe I can get an appointment for my dog now. That's been difficult at times, so it's all good. I do want to mention, I don't know if it was mentioned, a couple of weeks ago, we lost one of our town fathers. His name was Ted Hutler, and I saw several years ago, I was in the Lenoka Harbor Fire Department, and I managed to call him. I looked on the wall, and there's a picture of him there in 1981. I called him up, and he's my neighbor behind ShopRite. Was my neighbor. The family's still there. And I said, hey, you were mayor in 1981? I was a young man. I think I was like 13 or 12 years old. He said, I was 31 years old, but I was mayor. I said, well, good for you. He had a long career. And so I thought it'd be appropriate to recognize him as one of the town fathers and a former mayor, so I think that's appropriate. And we did fly the flag at half-mast for at least one day. I want to read this short letter from Pleasant Plains. They were in the heart of the fire. It's to me, but I am the face of the committee, and I will take no absolute credit. This is to all of us. It's Pheasant Run. Dear Mayor Curatola, dear Township Committee, the residents of Pheasant Run would like to thank you, the Township Committee, Township Administrator, first responders, and other officials for evacuating the community this past week. Many of our senior residents spent the evening at Manchester High School, where they were well taken care of throughout the evening and into the next morning, being served breakfast and then brought back safely to their homes. Again, our appreciation to all who assisted the community during this emergency. Sincerely, Pheasant Run Homeowners Association President Richard Rahm. So there were a lot of people, way too many to name, but I just got the microphone in my capacity as mayor at the commissioners meeting. I recognized our people that were there that night and help them put people up on the buses and then transport them out to a safer, more well-equipped place. No slight against us. We had no power. We were on battery power that night, so it was a difficult slog for seniors that needed help. So we knew enough to know that we didn't have enough, and we're grateful for the help from the county who was there to support us, and all 20 other counties. And as you've heard me say on television, all the mayors that called, there was no shortage. I couldn't possibly name every entity, but the people up here worked hard, but it was the firemen and the police that did the heavy lifting, and we're grateful for that. And there's good stories, I know they're out there, of rescue and pets. We were giving water to people in that facility in our our community hall, and one of the seniors said, "Don't take care of me, take care of my dog." And it was a little Yorkie. I had a Yorkie years ago. It was the closest thing I'll ever have to a son. Loved him. And so I gave water to the little dog, picked the little dog up, but...
That dog was shaking so bad.
I know.
Yeah, wasn't it scary?
But it's okay. Everybody, that's all, when you remember these little silly things. Veronica was there lifting heavy people and putting stuff on the bus, and we were all trying to do the work. Everybody was working over here, in the crowd, up here, the police and the fire and the residents, helping each other. So with that, I would like to open the floor to public comment. Yes, Mr. Senza. Can we get it?
It does not want to move. Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. Mr. Luray, I was referring to houses sold since last summer when the 9.9% hit. And you have to Google 08731 and 08734 because people do not put for sale signs in front of their house. Some people like to be more discreet, but there are more homes for sale than you think. That's one comment. The other comment is I just came from the MUA meeting, and Mr. Knoller said that during the fire, the MUA was able to maintain our water pressure almost 100% everywhere throughout the town, with every hydrant open in Pheasant Run, every hydrant open in the industrial park. He said Waretown even came to fill up their trucks at our hydrants. And I noticed at my house, I expected to get a drip out of the faucet, and I had full water pressure the entire time of the fire. And I tried only to use water to cook because, I knew it was being used to fight the fire. So we have a wonderful MUA. We have a wonderful system. We have very good pumping wells, and everyone should be thankful that the Municipal Utilities Authority can function so well under pressure. And that fire was one of the biggest tests you could ever have. And yeah, we're going to smell smoke for a long time. Some mornings you wake up, you smell it. Some mornings you don't, but it depends on which way the wind is drifting. That fire is going to be with us for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Regina.
Any other comments this evening? Yes, sir.
I'll do it this way. Good evening, everyone. It's a shame the firemen are not still here.
For the record, please.
Joe Bransford, over at Seabreeze, and I wish I could have represented. Ron Martin is here also. He's a former board member. I no longer represent the community. I'm not a board member anymore, but I know the sentiment of Seabreeze, and it is one of tremendous support, even though we were not affected by the wildfire. In the middle of our lobby now is a big box, and I believe checks are going in there. We have a Seabreeze Cares group, and I know when all those checks are tabulated, it should be a significant amount of money representing the gratitude of our community for these men and women.
For the fire department, sir?
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So we'll see what that amounts to. It's not our project, Ron or I, but it is the Seabreeze Cares group that's championing that. So
Every little bit counts.
kudos.
Yes, every little bit counts.
Thank you. Like I said earlier, that's the biggest thing they're looking for is donations.
Other comments this evening?
Go ahead. You go.
We're going to need help with that microphone, Barry. It's backwards and upside down. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Name,
Denise, the blonde. Anyway, and I think you know where I live. Okay, yes, I want to comment on everybody with the fire department doing their job. God only knows that was horrible. We all know it. We all see it. Police and everybody did what they had to do. Unfortunately, I do have a a little negativity, and this is constructive criticism because this is important. I live all the way down Beach Boulevard by the park, okay? There was no communication. It's hard when the electricity's down, you're going out to the car, and you're trying to plug in your phone, and everybody's trying to call you. You're looking on Facebook, you don't know where to go. The police department, I think, all kinds of exit 84 or something like that you're supposed to look up. There was just too much going on, and we had no communication, no electricity, or anything. I did speak to the chief about this, and I know he was very, very busy, and that's not my point. My point is, he told me about this code red that, again, I and a lot of neighbors didn't know about. I said, I went to the police department, I go there, you know, to drop off those pills in the little pill box, or police report, or something like that. I never saw a flyer, I didn't know anything about this code red that goes to your cell phone if you don't have a landline. So I said to him, please, use me if you want. Get the flyers, and I'll send them out. I'll print them out, or I'll do something to get it out. So this is something that's really important to a lot of seniors and people back there.
Okay.
We were a little disappointed in the communication. We had no idea whatsoever if we were going to be evacuated. We just kept hearing things from people if they made it in or not, okay? I had two neighbors who had two newborns. Guy left his truck at Caffrey's and walked down beach. So I'm hearing these bits and pieces. I have another neighbor that elderly, you know, Denise is like the neighborhood mama. So I was trying to remain calm and help them. All I kept saying is make sure you take your medicines, blah, blah, blah. This is what I remember from Sandy. And that was the other thing. I went through Sandy. The communication there was totally different because we did evacuate. We had enough time to evacuate. If you didn't want to evacuate, that was your problem. I did. This one, we didn't know if we were or weren't. So I had the unfortunate pressure from everybody. Please call the police department. And I knew I didn't want to bother them, and I know I didn't want to do that.
Right.
But they were right. It's 11:30 at night. We needed to know what we were doing in order to act fast. We either need to walk or whatever, get grandma out, whatever we had to do. So unfortunately, due to electricity, which is nobody's fault, due to the fire, I'm not saying anything bad, I would like something else done with the communication on how, I call it the stepchild. You know, you have this, what is it called? The stepchild left behind, that once after Elks, that's it. We had no idea what we were doing.
Denise, I know Regina brought it up, I think, last meeting about a website that alerts you.
Right.
And I know.
We just found out,
gave
codes.
Yeah, we
right,
just-
we
yeah,
code-
we just
gave that
found
out
out
at
about
the
it,
last
too.
meeting.
We've
Yes.
had that.
We have
in the
had it,
town
though.
since-
I didn't know
Because
that.
we have a power plant, we were always required
Yeah,
to
see,
have that.
I honestly
We've had
didn't
it for
know.
years, and it's always been available right on our municipal website to sign
But
up.
he said he put it, he did, he put it on the front page.
Yeah, we've moved it around since
Moved
then.
it around.
And I've been sharing
which I
it
thought
like
was
crazy
great,
on
which was
Facebook. I've
fun.
been just keep sharing it every day so people can.
But there was so much misleading information on Facebook.
Right,
and so
that's true.
upsetting.
Let me address
was
it. Let
horrible.
me address you as mayor if I could.
Sure.
Because this is part of what we're going to do. We call it an AAR. It's an after-action report.
Okay.
And we're very hard on each other in that room because we want to know and really press each other, the different departments that responded, on how we can do better next time.
Absolutely.
So I asked the chief, now in a time of declared emergency, which this was,
Yes.
the mayor is no longer the top link in the chain. It goes to the police chief. However, there is, in this case, this was excuse me, guys, if I could. This is multi-jurisdictional. So the state police had tactical command. One of the things they used to communicate was called IPAWS, and it's a public alert and warning system, and it's FEMA's national system for alerting. So along with everything we had, including the police going door to door, they used that. So if somebody is going to be isolated, the trick is if somebody runs out of power and they can't charge their phone, then they can't even get an alert on their phone. So I would encourage everyone to sign up for that type of alert on their phone. There will be, unfortunately, a next time, either a storm event or a fire. Hopefully it's not, but let's prepare for the worst. But that's part of what happened. The state police had tactical command, went down to the chiefs. They used IPAWS. We did go door to door. We did have school buses. There was Facebook. We did update laceypd.org. I wrote a couple of times and we updated, but the chief was way above board in updating, and I wanted him to be the tip of that spear. And so he was able to inform but it was redundant communication. Will everyone get everything? No. There are some seniors that are completely isolated without technology, living alone, not able-bodied, and not ambulatory. So that's a concern. But our chief does have a list of folks that are immobile or infirm. And they go around before the Cat 5 hurricane's going to hit, and they'll be knocking on doors. So we did a lot. I wanted to tell you about everyone's efforts.
No, I don't disagree with you whatsoever.
Okay.
But like I said, that little extra is what we needed in our area. And unfortunately, I had no way of knowing and helping these people. And everybody started losing it. You're talking about a couple hours without, the electricity was one
The
thing.
problem is, and you'll probably agree, is on Facebook, there were so many exaggerated stories. We lost
Very
the
much.
entire business
stopped.
park.
I
The
stopped.
power
It was a
plant blew
disgrace.
up.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was part of the
yes.
problem.
And here I'm trying to listen, let's calm down a little bit. Inside, I'm eating myself alive because I'm freaking out.
And
I'm not going
Denise,
to.
that's not free speech. Free speech doesn't cover somebody going into a theater and screaming fire. I think when people do that and start saying things about a nuclear plant or the entire business park burning down, that should be investigated. That's spreading false and misleading rumor.
Well, it's on
and
Facebook. Somebody should investigate
It
it.
creates a panic.
Absolutely.
And it ruins the evacuation. It soils the effort of these men and women that are trying to do the work.
I agree. Well, thank you for for saying that. I do want to just touch base on another subject, which, again, we're all, it's the school board, it's the taxes. We're going to this meeting. I don't know if we can get a hold of these formulas to see if it's anything that we can talk about. I mean, this is going back and forth. I don't even know what to say anymore because we had our 9% a couple months ago, and now they want to hit us again. I know everyone up and down the Jersey Shore is being brutally abused with this, and the seniors are being abused. I'm sorry, that's abuse to me, because you're telling a senior you have to either stay in your house, have food, or pay taxes. Just really, from the bottom of my heart, I saw Senator Amato the other day. I won't say where and when, but I did say, we need help. Please help Lacey. I don't know what you can do, but please help Lacey. And he said, I'm trying. I feel better. I tried. I feel better. I talked to him. I don't know where it's going to get us. The governor is, I don't even know. Was he down here for the fire?
He was not.
I didn't think so. Okay, that was the truth then. That was the only thing that was truth on the Facebook, I guess.
I did get a call from the governor's office. I did not hear from the governor. I heard from the governor's chief of staff.
I tried to call. I didn't get anywhere either, because I think he should have supported you. Whether he was here or not, he should have supported all of us.
Well, his chief of staff did call me,
Okay.
and he did pledge support to the business that was lost, as did Congressman Smith. Congressman Smith called me at, 11, 12 o'clock at night. I was here the next day. So he was a gem. And so many people did show up. Not only just did they send provisions and trucks, ambulances and the like, they physically showed up.
Yeah, I would think
Yeah.
that would be something that you would do for your community and for your town. Again, my opinion, call me stupid. I don't know, you're on the upper here. We pay you eventually, I hope, and we don't want to, but we do. I have a question again. You know me, I always ask. The health benefits for, and I hate to say you guys, and the school. So now we got the school budget and we got the town budget with these health benefits. We know they're not cheap. Anybody can figure out the math, which I'm a bookkeeper, it's pretty steep. If we can save on some of that, it would help the big pie with everything. I know we don't want to hear this, but again, let's think of people down the road, our seniors or anything else. You'll all look good if we just cut back on something.
I just want to make a statement.
Sure,
We don't get health benefits. I just want to make sure you,
And we do
That's known.
look at, in the school as well, we do look at our claims experience, and we do go out to shop, so to speak.
No, I'm sure you do.
Change the health benefits, and the school did go outside the state health benefits, and they went into a private entity and had that for a couple of years, and then they got such a large increase, it was cheaper to go back to the state health benefits.
Really?
Yes, and the same
Okay.
thing is happening to us here as well, is we do shop around, and based on claims experience, it's not always cheaper to go somewhere else. And sometimes you only see that savings for 1 year,
Right.
and
right.
then the second year they
Yeah, I know,
bombard you.
to get you in and.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
That's fine, and thank you for sharing that and telling me that, because I hear, again, that's
Yeah.
what happens. Just like in car insurance,
Right, you shop around.
flood insurance, we all go through it, property insurance. But I'm just trying to get, again, when you're thinking
we
of fighting or
appreciate it.
thinking of sharing some information, this is something that I feel strongly about. Again, I don't want to cut anybody's health benefits. Everybody needs it, everybody, we're at the
Well,
ages
by
where.
law, with the Affordable Care Act, you have to provide it if you have over 50 employees.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I know
so-
that,
yeah.
that I do, and like I said, I don't have a problem with that. But again, let's see if we can somehow tighten up.
And Denise, I mean, all government agencies are fighting with this right now because it's been
Yes,
going up
I know.
17 to 22% every year. And the one thing, I know I've said this before, we've got to remember when we look at the employees, we also got to look at the retirees because they're still on our plans. Whether it's a school or a government agency, and you got to remember, medicine has gotten better, so people are living longer. So now, even the usage, you look at retirees with their medical benefit, needs, and young people coming in with young families and kids and stuff like that. So it's everybody's shopping, but it's also fighting with it on a double-edged sword almost. But
Oh, I
yeah,
understand.
the
Believe me,
numbers
I
are
understand. I
tough.
do my homework, and I've
Yes.
been in corporate, and I understand all that. But when I was working, I was always paying for me, and that's it. It wasn't the whole family. It wasn't the 5 kids and, your husband, wife, and grandma, it wasn't all that. So these times are changed. Our budgets and our lives and our everything in the world has changed. So I think something, I'm just looking for a little bone here.
Well, the conversations do happen during union negotiations, trust me. Does happen.
I believe you, I do. It's just that I feel better to ask it, because then sometimes you have new information that is
Might
not
hear
shared.
something.
And again, the information I hear from the horse's mouth, as we say, is a little better for me.
Yep.
Because I like that communication and I like the truth.
Yep.
And this way I have my questions addressed properly. But I
Thank you.
appreciate feedback. I do appreciate your feedback. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
See, I was a good girl.
Any other comments this evening? Yes, Barry?
Nope, doesn't tilt enough. It's okay. I got it. I know how to do it. Barry Bender, somewhere in Lacey Township. Going to talk about my favorite subject. We're in the month.
Yep.
A few weeks away, May 31st, we got Relay for Life. I'll be setting up the day before like I usually do. This is my 16th year as logistics chair. We think at this point we have 14 teams. We really could use some more teams because it looks nice to have a bunch of campsites out there as we go all night long. A lot of people bail early. I'll be up all night long. I'm getting too old for this. I can tell you. I'm getting too old for this. Just want to share out there to the public about Relay for Life Survivor Lunch starts at noon. You got 2 hours of survivor lunch. Anybody who's a survivor or knows a survivor, the survivor and one guest can come and I still have to talk and get that ready, prepared. But yeah, it's 2 hours of the survivor lunch. Then at 2 o'clock we have opening ceremony, and then we go till 6 a.m. So looking forward to that, hopefully. Good weather. We're knocking on wood. Another topic. Well, actually, I have a question before I go to my other topic. And you guys would know much better than I would. Who makes the call when they close the parkway as to where they cut it off?
Very interesting
During emergencies,
conversation.
as the mayor said, it's the OEM who was in
OEM?
charge of the incident.
Because, I mean,
They told me they would get kickback to close the parkway. The governor's going to want to know why. That's a
Yeah.
huge move.
well, to me, just my experience, I went to the chiropractor on Lacey Road at 4:30, and I live on Bay Avenue. Everybody knows where Bay Avenue is. I couldn't get back across to my house. I parked at the parking lot near the rail trail and walked across Route 9, went back at 8 o'clock and was able to make it back over.
Took me over an hour to get home from here that night.
I believe it.
And I
But it
only
was
see
funny,
half
funny story. I'm walking, I forget, whatever, Mill Street, I guess, Bay Avenue turns into, and a lady rolls down her window, and she says to me, "Can I get to Atlantic City from here?" And I said, "Not tonight, you're not." Yeah, it was every street. I mean,
Everything was closed down.
it was.
Barry, let me interject. The well-intentioned folks from 20 years ago that did not want the railroad right-of-way, that was used heavily that night and in subsequent days
Yes.
as an
But it-
alternative place for evacuation. It got people out of here, and it alleviated traffic on 9.
But
Did
it-
exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, but it stops at Lacey
Stops
Road.
at
Lacey
Mosque.
Road was, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We're working on it.
To me, I mean, if they were, because really what they did when they cut people off at exit 80, they were sending people right into the fire, in a sense, because the fire was coming our way. I don't know how it made the loop, because I took the ride, I went 532 the other day and all the way up and down and took the parkway. But it almost like it had in its mind, it was coming to Lacey Township. You know, there was this line, like, why us?
Yeah, once
But-
that wind shifted, it was like
Yeah.
a live,
It was-
living, you know,
Yeah.
when it came through that business
Yeah,
park.
yeah. Well, I heard the story about it was gone, and then I went to the Wawa at Laurel, and everybody was told, this was 11 o'clock at night, it was still a parking lot. And I said, "Oh, Tractor Supply's gone." And I'm like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I'm like, no. The sign right near it burned, but
Yes,
not
did see
Tractor
the
Supply.
sign.
Yep. My next topic is, I'll be quick. I got to read this one because I don't remember it completely. I know when it was. Yeah, on April 17th, whoops, there it goes. There was a truck at the old, I refer to it as the old community hall. And they dug 9 test holes and were testing soil samples. Was that ordered by us?
No, that's by the potential contract purchaser.
Okay, and are they allowed to do that when there's litigation on the property? Okay, I just wonder, also, are they going to be replacing the blacktop that was dug
Well,
up?
those are for borings for the soil to determine what type of footings they would have to put in to build their building. So, depending on when this comes to conclusion and what happens, it either one will get repaired or two, they're going to.
Well, right now, the property still belongs to the township, correct? Okay, I just wondered if,
All the utilities and everything are turned off to both of those buildings there. They're not being maintained
okay,
because, the electric was very high in that building, so we made sure it was turned off.
okay. But again, there's no responsibility on his part to replace because right now it is still owned by the township. Okay, I just wanted to ask about that. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Thank
Mother's
you.
Day.
Appreciate it.
Other comments this evening?
This young lady's coming up. Yeah, she looks good. She looks good.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Wilma Hernandez, Lacey Township, Amber Lake. I just would like to say that from the last meeting that I was here, when we have all of this problem going on in Bamber Lake with people going out into the woods and all of that, I thank you for putting a sign that these four wheels can't go out there anymore, these kids on these four-wheelers, and appreciate that. And the cameras,
Good.
I think, have
sheriff.
made a big difference
Good.
in that. But I do have a concern that summer's coming, and the kids do like to go out there. And with the recent fire, and I have to say that I think that our fire department and everyone that was involved in the fire did such a tremendous job. I got a call saying that we might have to evacuate out in Bamber. I was so nervous. My neighbors are saying, no, it's okay, the wind's going the other way, and I'm like, yeah, but that can shift in a minute. And so I just have to compliment all of the fire people. They're gone, but thank you for all of your work that you did in the fire. But I have a concern about this summer.
I just wanted, if the mayor doesn't mind, to
Yes.
just, I've been in touch, obviously, this is something and along with the mayor, we've worked on it to try to get some stuff done. And right now, the sheriff and the chief are working on a plan. So just know it's not out of, mind. It's,
Oh,
okay?
thank you.
There's
Thank you.
plans, so.
Yeah, it's summer school, kids are going to be out of school,
Yes,
and they like to
yep.
go out there and
Yep, we've
and
got a big plan
do
coming,
whatever they
so.
do, and I don't want any pallets being burnt
No.
out there in
No.
the woods. And so we do appreciate, any additional help that you can give us out there to keep that nonsense away.
Well, if I can
We are.
interject, it threatens our first responders. When they get hurt
That's
out
right.
there
That's right,
and their
Mayor.
bikes tip over and they get cervical spine injury or something like that, and they got to get flown out, now our guys and ladies have to go in there. Ambulance can't go in there.
No.
And they need to put a flat board. Helicopter can't land there. So I just ask, please, find a different way to have fun and don't go back there.
Thank you. Thank you. We
you.
appreciate that. And it's just, we have I have to tell you, the traffic on our road.
That night of the fire?
The night of the fire, people trying to go through the back, because it is a road.
Yes.
And if you look on your map, you can see that it's
See
a
it's a
road, but the
road.
traffic on our road was tremendous.
Yep.
And they would go out there, but then they would find that there are big potholes, and they
Yep.
can't drive through, and then they would be coming back. But it was like nonstop traffic, people
yeah.
trying to get out to 539. Why they just didn't go out Lacey Road
All the
and
way
get
out, come
539?
around.
When you put it into that Waze or something like that, that shows up as roads. So, and you
It does.
don't realize that it's off-road stuff, because we've had to rescue, between us and Manchester Township, rescue people who don't know it, that get stuck in some of the ruts from the puddles in the rain, and tow them out of there.
Yes,
Yeah, it's-
I can believe it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back there with my car if my life depended on that thing. But I do thank you for what you have done, and I just wanted to bring you to your attention, that there's still a concern.
There is.
Because school's going to be out, and the kids like to go back there.
Yep.
And thank you.
Thank you for coming out and telling us.
Hello, everyone. I'm the husband of the lady that just spoke. We live in Bamber Lake, and we are very grateful for the police presence that has been there. I had 2 incidents last week that scared me a little bit, to the point that we did some clearing in our property, because of the question of the fire is very, very much in our minds. As I was doing my bushes, watering the bushes, 2 cars came by, flicked a cigarette right into the woods, right in front of me. The guy just looked at me, and there's nothing I could do. I couldn't even have time to take the license plate or anything. But a cigarette can ignite those woods, and it's over.
Yes.
So I just wanted to let you know that there are some individuals that don't belong there.
No.
They don't know that there are children involved there, too.
Yep.
And one of these days, something is going to happen.
Good, sir. Some things you just can't legislate.
No, I know that, but I just wanted to make you
I'm trying to be as
aware.
nice as I can to that gentleman or lady who threw a cigarette out the window.
And
Appreciate you coming up and talking to us,
Okay.
though.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments this evening? Yes, sir.
Before Mr. Bidnick speaks, I just want to say, because I looked up a couple numbers, I just want to put this out there. We have 12,170 homes in this town, and there are only 76 houses for sale in this whole town. So if looking at comparative numbers, that's really not a large amount of houses to be for sale, so.
Good evening, Mayor, Township Committee members, Lacey citizens. I'd like to start off first with Mother's Day. I'd like to wish all of the moms in our town a really wonderful Mother's Day. And I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. For someone who recently lost their mother, who they never thought was ever going to leave this life, don't ever forget to tell your mom how much you love her, because one day you won't be able to. And please remember that. No matter how we may get upset about things with families and such, our moms gave us life. Without that, none of us would be here.
That's for sure.
So happy Mom's Day to everybody in Lacey Township.
Thank you.
Now, on to more political talk here. Okay, so I'm just going to discuss the school stuff because the taxes, which affects all of us, correct? So how do I say this correctly? I personally have a problem with a government entity who doesn't take any personal responsibility for its actions, wants praise for the things that it does, but then when it does things that it really screws up, does not take accountability for it. And this is very common in politics today in America. Politicians are great to take the praise for the good things they do. But when they mess up, it's always somebody else's fault. It's going on right now in our own school district, okay? There's a lot of things too. There was never a 3.15% budget, which was the legally allowed budget ever presented to the school board. 2 members of that school board voted against the budget because this was never presented to them. That was their legal obligation, and there was no compromise. This was nonsense when we heard about compromise. Also, why is it that it's someone like myself and Mrs. DeSenza and members of my group who had to do the initiative to go and contact the county superintendent to find out who actually instigated trying to get a second shot at a waiver, because the board never authorized that. This is a problem. You cannot work alone when you are a school board member. You can't take it upon yourself to take actions. That is something that the entire school board has to do. And it didn't happen. So there's a problem with all of this. Also, we also heard about what...
Are you alleging criminal activity?
I'm just telling you what I know,
There's
okay?
an avenue for that.
I'm just explaining to you what I know, okay, Mayor? And I'm explaining this to you because I'm going public with this because it's a problem. And we've had continual public officials lie to the citizens of this town. I will explain this to you because last year, when the 9.9% tax increase was put through, several of those people sitting on that body said this would never happen again. They would never vote for another increase over the legally allowed amount. In fact, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks before, they had another, when they voted down the 14.25, this was reiterated. But yet they got up there. In fact, I spoke before they did, and I said, we're going to find out who's really truthful and who isn't. And 5 of these people went and voted and said yes to something that they said they would never do. Integrity is very important to me, okay? If I can't look somebody in the face when I speak to them because I don't trust them, and I don't think that they're being honest with me or to the public that they are elected to serve. And this is all of our money, okay, right now? And for the people in this town, now 70% of the households in Lacey Township do not have children in our schools. So inflicting a 7.54% increase on top of a 9.9% increase, which is now what we're about 17.5% increase in 1 year, is not only unsustainable, it's totally unfair. And quite frankly, Mayor Cataldo, you should be fighting for the 70% of us in this town who do not have children in that school. You are our leader. This is actually going to destroy this town because next year we keep giving in to the state. You know, if you keep giving in, they're going to keep doing this, and you're hoping for a new administration. We don't know what we're going to get. It could be worse, quite frankly. So there has to come a time when an elected body has to say, no, we're not going to let the scare tactics that some people are using and the fear mongering, saying the state is going to take us over and they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to do this. You can't run a government body on fear tactics. And it is unfair, and it was used exactly by that school
Mr.
board.
Bidnick, I have been a little bit busy the last 3 weeks, but you've been fairness, you've been coming up here and saying, I don't disagree with a lot of what you say. Dovetailed to that, I think there should be accountability. There should be academic performance.
Exactly.
There should be accountability.
Exactly.
But what would you have me do?
Speak
I
out.
cannot rail
No,
against
no.
other elected officials that have been duly elected in this town. You come up here, and I think you're at the wrong board. I didn't appreciate how you got clapped down or slapped down. You were trying to speak. I don't
One of
think
the
that-
meetings, well, that's
I don't-
happened.
I don't think that's right.
Well, this is the teachers'
Okay?
union.
If something
They,
like
they,
that
ta-
hap-
they
if
take
that
me.
happened.
They take me as being their enemy because, quite frankly, I speak out against them. And I ran a unionized institution, so I know how they work. I'm not afraid of them. That's the thing. A lot of people are afraid to get up there and speak the truth. But quite frankly, when all the money is going to those people, and they roll out of bed in the morning, go to their jobs, get their health benefits, their salaries, their pensions, and they're disrespectful to the people who are paying their
Do you
salaries.
want me to call for their heads? Do you want
No.
me to tell people not to
Quite
elect?
frankly,
I don't think I should do
my,
that.
my concern is the disrespect. These are the people who are teaching our children, okay? If they can't even behave at a public meeting, okay? And I represent a citizens group, and we're very concerned about accountability, transparency, and taxes, okay? So that's my job. I'm doing my job. I do this job when I come here, when I go to the school board meetings, and I'm speaking for those people. You can, as the mayor, of course you can't tell the school board what to do, but you can say this is wrong what you're doing. Basically, you're going to make 70% of the households of our town suffer because you can't do your job, and you haven't been able to do your job. And you know what? No one wants to take responsibility over at that body. And you know what really irks me to no end? What they did at that one meeting where they brought all those kids in and they used them, the sports people, and I know this is what happened because I had people all over the place telling me they had them all prepped to go in there, do their little speeches and stuff. Nobody cares about academic achievement. They could never get those students to go in there, the kids who care about better education, to go in there and do that for the sports. And do you realize they cut out all courtesy busing and the higher level education classes in our schools? We are going backwards. We can no longer pretend to be a serious school district when this is the priority. And this is where this body can make a difference. You can't tell them, but you can speak on behalf of the town and say, what is happening here is wrong. Somebody has to do it. You realize I'm the only one. In fact, I'm the leader of this town at this point when it comes to this stuff because you're not doing your job.
This is what I had suggested. I'm going to go a little bit off the reservation here because I am cognizant not to overstep another governing body.
Okay.
I'm here for, schools need to be accountable for academics. My suggestion was post on your website every 2 weeks what you're doing to improve academics. You're convening meetings of the curriculum committee. Whatever you're doing, post that academically and inform our residents. Use social media. The other way I think schools may be able to self-soothe is you have a large audience on a website. Emails go out to parents all the time, from what's for lunch to what's the extracurricular activity, to disciplinary reports, to progress reports or bad progress reports of students' academic performance. I think there should be a county-wide RFP for the 85,000 K through 12 students in this county. Now, we might not have a large stick, but that number is a large stick. Monetize these websites. There's going to be no shortage of Fortune 500 companies or other organizations that want entree onto those sites to have parents of kids in kindergarten to 12th grade to help them to sell products. Maybe it's a BOGO, maybe it's a twofer, but it's worth a conversation. It means more than a 3x5 plastic banner for a company around the circumference of a football field. use and monetize that website. There are two conversations I had with people that are high-ranking over there, and I'm going to continue to have those type of conversations because I don't want you to think I'm doing nothing. I have skin in this game.
I didn't say that you weren't doing
I want our schools to
anything.
be successful.
Right, but
I
you
give
need
you
to speak
forum.
up.
It's the people's.
You need to
You know
speak
me for
up,
a long
Mayor.
time. Do I
know.
look intimidated by anything?
No, you're not, but you need, I'm asking you, on behalf of the 70% of the
Can I
households.
just ask you about the 70%? What
Yes.
do you mean by that? Can I ask you about
For-
that?
Well, from the census information, this is all pulled. The children, they're between the ages of 5 and 18, we have a little over 5,000. It's 17% of the population.
Okay.
1,200 of those students are not going to school in Lacey Township. They're going to private schools. That's a large number.
Yes, it is.
And you know why it is. I hate to say it, but the fact of the matter is we know why that is. And I'm in contact with a lot of these people. So
When you say the 70%, though, I'm trying to understand, because you said those people don't have children in here?
in the schools, no, 70% of the households do not have, and you know, it's funny, because when we pulled up this number, when we were doing the research, I went around my own neighborhood and I went through the households. There's my one neighbor next to me, which is a younger couple, everybody around me doesn't have kids in the schools. And I was just trying to figure, is this really a logical number we're pulling up from the census numbers? And that it is logical.
But do you feel that, I'm just asking. this
Yeah,
is just
sure,
a
no,
question.
go ahead.
Do you feel that because you don't have children, or these people don't have children, they shouldn't have to pay?
No.
Okay, I want to be clear about that.
No, that's not what I'm
okay?
saying. But quite frankly,
Right.
in the southern states, quite frankly,
very different.
65,
Right.
you pay no school taxes.
Absolutely.
I mean, so, I
No,
mean, I'm very
yes.
familiar with all this, but no, I'm trying to get the numbers out there. And I'm not saying, no, we shouldn't pay, but big increases, this is what I'm saying, such a large increase for a smaller, if we had more polarity, as I would say, maybe if it was even 50% of our households had children in the schools, you have more of a viable for these type of increases, but quite frankly, it's actually going to be worse than it is this year. So we sacrificed last year 10%, right? And it's going to be even, and they made cuts, and now it's even going to be worse. So we're paying 17.5% more for a lot less. Do you think that this is logical? I mean, in my head, it's not logical. And the only solution is the solution that I have talked about. And it's basically what the S2 legislation was about, and that is regionalization. And you know what? I don't want to see the people in my town have to sell their homes. And people online have actually said this. This is what really bothers me. There are such inconsiderate and insensitive people to think that when you're an older person, it's not so easy to just pick up and start a whole new life for yourself and leave your family and your friends and everybody else behind. When you're younger, I know I've done this. It's very easy to do. We can adjust easier, but it's not so easy for the elderly in our community. And there are people, that are writing online and they're just saying, you people should just leave. You should just sell your houses and go. And you know what? A lot of the senior citizens or the people who are over 55, they do a lot for this community. I mean, actually, when you really think about it, you lose that body, what are you going to have left? The younger people are so busy bringing up their kids working 2 and 3 jobs. Now, with these tax increases even more, they don't even have time to be home with their children, which causes the disintegration of our families. So you made a comment about the kids in the schools. And I'm saying, yeah, well, with both parents working, there isn't anybody around to be a parent. I mean, this is a societal problem. And if we keep making the taxes go higher and higher and higher, people are not going to have any choice but to be working 2 and 3 jobs, both husband and wives. And is that really what we want in our community? Now, another comment I think I wanted to make about is we were talking about the tax lien list. Very interesting. The one thing that's missing from there is we all know that the mortgage company, if you have a mortgage, whether you pay you're underwater on your mortgage or not, the mortgage company is going to be paying those taxes. I mean, that's the way that it works. So it doesn't really necessarily show you even a fair list of the people who are really struggling, who have mortgages in our town. And it's only going to get worse because the escrow accounts are decided by the banks. and they will come back, and you have no choice. When they say to you, you got to have that increase, you know, that's it. So if you don't have the money, this is an issue. We have to do not only better, we have to fight for these people. That's what you are elected officials for, and I'm asking you to find the better self, to get out of your comfort zone, and to take this on. And I would love for you, Mayor Cataldo, to actually say, this is wrong. I would love for you to say this. You're asking this burden twice, once last year, but now you're doing it again. And it just isn't right. And I know you have another political body that's doing its thing, but they're not doing their job, and I know that they're not, because I have helped get people elected onto that body.
Whoa, hold on, Mr. Bidnick. I've told you a couple things tonight. I've been a vociferous advocate of our schools. I've also called for accountability. I've also called for academics. I've also furnished ideas that I think are low-hanging fruit that we could do hitting the ground now.
But how is that going to help with
I
the
don't-
taxes, sir?
Well, can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
So, I mean, I've alluded to this a couple times. It really comes down to the level of staffing in government and how many, you know, what you want the government to provide and how many people you want doing it. The only realistic way the schools can lower their cost structure is to lay off people, and a lot of people. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, you know, it's not our vote, but I don't think any one of us knows that the school finances or how the schools run anywhere close to as intimate as we know the township.
Right, sure.
So for us to, because that's what you're talking about. If you're saying you don't want them to raise taxes, then by default, you're telling them they have to cut. So we do not have any type, you know, close to that type of information at what we could tell them what to cut or if they should cut or any of those things.
I don't think you should be telling them to do
Well, that's
that.
what they're elected for. So,
Right.
but again, I don't know what you're expecting.
What am I saying?
No, I don't even know what you're expecting at the school. I mean, I've been to the last couple school board meetings and, you know, I listen to everybody, but I understand your point. You don't want the taxes to go up, but the only alternative for the schools is to cut staff. That's it.
It isn't the only alternative. I mean, actually, I threw something out there because I just wanted to see about the sense of entitlement, or if we really, the whole idea that I get from the teachers is about it takes a village. But that village is always totally one-sided. And this was an opportunity where these people who claim that they care and they have empathy could actually have said, you know, this 1 year, we're going to take maybe a 5% or a 10%, or go halfway with the taxpayers. I asked this last year, was laughed at, banged on the tables, screamed at, and they took the mic down on me. Because how dare you challenge these people? You know, I'm sorry. If it matters to me, if somebody's going to keep their home, or you're going to take a little bit of a salary decrease, you take your salary decrease. I don't want to see a person in our town be put out on the street because of this. And it's a moral issue at this point for me.
I understand what you're saying, but all those things are contractually, and they're usually
are.
negotiated
Of
years in
course.
advance. So any negotiated contracts for
Well,
this current year could have been negotiated 5 years
I
ago.
actually asked them to do this. They could have done it. The union could have gotten together and said, you know, we'll do this for the community one time, right? But they didn't do that. And I blame them. Quite frankly, the way I look at it now is that it's their fault that we're in this situation because the contracts, the health benefits, everything else that they are getting is everything practically in that budget is going to them. They just let go the grounds people. I mean, you realize what's happening over there. They let go almost all the grounds people to take care of. They have no maintenance people. The buildings are going to hell. This is not.
I don't disagree with you.
I just want to say, though, I got to say this. What's happening doesn't fall on the teachers. This falls up here, okay?
It's everybody.
But they're
Right.
right? You know what I'm saying to you? It starts at the top,
I agree.
okay?
I
You can't-
absolutely agree.
We can't take this and put it
No,
on the teachers.
it's everyone. My feeling was, and when I asked for the give back, it was for everyone, including the administration and everyone.
Well, that's where it should have
No,
started.
of course. I totally agree. And you notice only one administrator, and you weren't at the meeting, but they're only going to let go one administrator, just one. So it's the same story over and over again. And I'm sorry I'm using this bully pulpit because this will go out on social media. People need to hear that, you know, there are people fighting for them. This is my job. and I really do care, and I have the time to do it, and I don't really, this is not something that I'm very comfortable doing. I just want you guys to know, I'm somewhat of an introvert of a person. I like to spend my time alone, quite frankly. I mean, the people who know me know.
I don't think any of us believe
Look,
that.
I'm a classically trained pianist who would much prefer be sitting at my piano and doing my music, but there isn't anybody in this town to fill the role that I'm filling right now. I would love to retire into the sunset. I may be going to the Seychelles for 3 months, but the fact of the matter is like, well, I need a break. I do, okay? I really do. But the fact of the matter is that we have to do better, all of us, and you as our elected officials, and I will put you under the fire. This is my job. And it's same thing with the school board. It's like you guys can do better.
I commiserate with you.
You
I
can
haven't
say.
completely disagreed with you.
I know you have.
But you are on your fourth 5-minute interval.
That's okay. It's important. And I'm sorry, as I said, Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Happy Mother's Day.
Okay? I get it. Thank you again
Thank you,
for your
sir.
time. And please try to do what you can. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Any other comments this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Linda Miller, Forked River. Okay, I've been to all the meetings too. What I have to say is, I have many friends that are teachers, and I love them dearly. But what I saw at the last 2 school board meetings is they filled the area with children to come up to the podium and to speak about all their sports, and they were going to lose this, and blah, blah, blah. And then teachers got up, and they said, yeah, the children are going to lose all these sports, and it's just a terrible thing for the children. And it's always the children. Oh. So I got up and said, yeah, well, I'm old. Older people babysit those children. But the point is, the teachers always say it's all about the children. But you can plainly see it's not about the children. It's about the teachers. The teachers don't want to have too many children in their classroom. That's more work for them. They, like Mr. Bidnick said, give up some of your salary for 1 year. They don't want to do that, but it's still about the children. So how can they stand there and say, it's about the children, but they don't want to give up anything for, monetarily for the children? And that is a moral problem. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bransford.
Joe Bransford from Seabreeze. I think a meeting or 2 ago, I came up here and talked about some relief for seniors, the PAS2 package that we should have all completed by now. The third one of which was the Stay New Jersey program. Don't get your hopes up. I said it before, it's really not going to happen, certainly to the extent that we're all led to believe by a governor who won't be here when it's supposed to take effect. But there's another proposal being kicked around by people running for the new governor position, which says, I'll cap senior taxes, and if you're over 65 and a property owner, you won't have to pay any increases in taxes. So since we're doing school board business here tonight, which is really the wrong place, think about that, what that means to this town when the seniors, no matter what you tax, they're not going to contribute to any increases. That means the remaining tax holders, stakeholders in town, their taxes are going to go up even more. So we're in a vicious cycle, and if we can't get a governor and a legislature, the governor can't do it alone. If we can't get the right legislator to make these changes, we'll be back here next year with an even bigger problem.
You better believe it, Joe.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Seeing none, motion to close the floor?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 2025-180, resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the convening of an executive session in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act to discuss matters of personnel pending anticipated litigation and matters of real estate.
Move it.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Second,
All in
please.
favor?
Aye. No further business.
No further business.
Do your thing about getting the students out.